we're going to be doing a cool new thing, which is implementing logging using our aspect-oriented programming. So to do this, the first thing that we need to do is go into our POM XML file, and this is a continuation off of the previous videos in the playlist link below the like button where we've done all this aspect-oriented programming. Pretty dope. But for this one, we're going to be in our dependencies here. We're going to implement it. The easiest way to get this is to go through this Maven repository. I'll try to have it linked below the like button in the description. Just type in like log4j inside of here, search it, and then you're going to want to grab the dependency inside of here and put it inside of your dependencies. So I'll try to have that link below. It's super easy and great to implement. You could search for all other dependencies on there as well. So it's a great tool. So logging is very common use for aspect-oriented programming. We will also discuss other uses for it. We need to make use of the logic framework so we can add it as a dependency. So this is what we have just done. Make sure we want to refresh our Maven project from here. I don't know how it is exactly on Eclipse. I think it's similar, but there should be like a little Maven logo. You just click it and it adds it to our dependencies. So that's important. Now let's go to our aspect config class. The aspect configuration is where we're going to implement our logging. A great part of aspect-oriented programming is that we do not have to touch our existing code base to introduce new functionality by defining aspects separately and weaving them into the program execution with the correct annotations of XML configurations or XML configurations. So we either do annotations or XML configurations. I prefer the Java annotations, which is what we're going to be looking at here. So at the beginning, we're going to want to make use of our logger. At lines 9 and 10 here, these ones, we need to import these ourselves. My IDE for IntelliJ did it incorrectly when I just hovered over and imported them. It imported them as like a Java thing, I think. So make sure that they're Apache orgs right here. And we're going to make use of them right here. So we make out our instance and pass in what we want to log. We want to log this class, this aspect config.class. We're logging what this is having inside of here. And we're going to add logs throughout this file. So the logger allows us to log messages to a file in the file system. In our print logo, right here, line 23, we see that before anything is printed, we have a log statement. Now, this is going to push something to our log file. We'll see that in a second when we run our main. Scrolling down a little bit, we have our after throwing. We're going to replace our system.out.println errors, and we're going to put these in our log. So we're actually logging our errors, and this is pretty useful just for anything in general. And then we're going to add logs to our apply discount. This first one is this log.info, where we have the order total calculated and displayed as, and then we're going to get our order value right here, just for the order, and then we have another log info right here in this if statement, and this is only going to log if our discount is displayed, because we don't need to log anything after this if it's not displayed, right? So if we have a discount, it's going to log that discount. So that can be important for like cash register if we need to keep record of that. Now we must configure where these log properties are going into. So we can go to our project, we can go to resources and make a new file, call it log4j2.properties. So inside of here, it's going to look like this. We're going to be adding all of these in here. Now the video just gave us a brief overview, so it's quick what we're doing here. The appenders going into the file is because we want this to go to a file. So appenders equals to file because we want it to append to a file. Now lines 4 through 8 are going to be defining our file. Line 6 is the name. Line 8 is a pattern for our messages. Then we have configuration after that, and that's going to be down here. Line 11 ensures all classes in the packages have access to our log. The next level is to ensure all files above the debug level are written to the log file. Now for our main. We're going to run this, and we can click the play button. It should run, and it's going to look something like this. So we've seen this before in previous videos, but now let's actually go into our file path. I'm doing this here. We have this app, logs right here, and actually I think I had this from before. If you have anything from before, you can delete it, you can save it, you can close it, and then all you're going to want to do is just rerun this. After rerunning this, we can open our app again and see that we have this information right here. So the logo is printed before the invocation of, we have our display, we have our order total and calculated, and then we have our discount total as well. Now, what if, just like previously, we clear this, right? We clear so that there's nothing inside of here. Well, then we should get an error, right? Let's clear this by uncommenting this. We can rerun this. We're going to close this right here because it's not going to refresh when it's open. We can see that we have an error. but that's exactly what we want because we are only printing out this method. Now, remember when we used to print out other things beforehand? We're not doing that here just because we've removed this after. We're not printing anything afterwards. So that's just important to note why that's not printing. If we open our app, we can see that we have another log right here. Probably would want a space in between these. We see we have an info, the logo is printed, and then we have an error, and then the error is because there are no orders left in our cart. And that could be super important to identify something, kind of like when we are clicking on various parts of our website and something's not loading, and we can display an error why. So this is going to be our ending. This is implementation logging using your AOP. That's it for this. And in the next set of videos, we're going to be looking at database integration, an overview of using like JPA and Hibernate.